Hey, what's going on, people? Once again, I'm back. Mr. Rule Breakers is in the building. And when we got a very disturbing story here. Very disturbing. We got a story here of a former Kansas Jayhawk University student being charged. Well, he's been charged and convicted of raping a fellow student. I think the student was a student as well at University of Kansas at the time. But yeah, this guy, his name is Albert Wilson. He's been charged with raping a 17-year-old girl at the time. He was 20 years old. And man, it's just crazy because if you look at the details of the story, they don't really have much on the guy. They don't really have anything on the guy. That's what makes the story so crazy. The girl, so basically this guy, he met this girl. They were out partying one night, out at the university, and they end up meeting up at a bar. And, I guess they kind of, saw each other and whatnot. And I think the girl, from what I'm able to see in the article, the girl goes up to the guy and, she's like, oh, let's go for a dance or whatnot. So they go for a dance. They're dancing on the dance floor. They've both been drinking, and, they start kissing and touching and all that stuff. And so, they take it from the dance floor. Then they end up going outside. And when they end up going outside, they're still kind of, kissing and talking and stuff like that. Then they end up making their way back to the guy's apartment. It looks like he didn't live that far from the bar that they were at. And by the way, the name of the bar is called The Hawk. And it's like some bar, like university bar, one of the university bars or whatnot in the town, around campus. So it's called The Hawk. But anyway, they make it back to the guy's apartment, and they're still kind of, they're feeling each other, still kind of, kissing and making out and that kind of stuff. So they go back to the guy's apartment, and they're doing all this stuff. It says they were still making out, and it says they did some sexual stuff, but there's no intercourse. So it looks like it was maybe some touching, kissing, stuff like that. I don't see any details about anything else as far as like any penetration or anything like that. So there's no penetration, it looks like there's no, intercourse. So that's all they got. And then it says it even has them on surveillance, leaving his place 5 minutes after they got to the guy's apartment. So they end up leaving his place and walking back to the bar. So it looks like after that time, they go back to the bar, and then they end up, separating and whatnot. And then the girl goes back to her group, and she's going back to her cousin. That's who she was with at the bar. And the next day, the girl goes back and says, this guy that I was with last night, he raped me. So, she goes to the hospital. She gets the rape kit done and everything. And when they do the rape kit, they don't find, there's no semen on the girl or anything like that. No seminal fluid. When they did the swabbing, so what they found was on her chest area, they found like his saliva, from him kissing on her and stuff like that. But that's it. There's no fluid. There's no, semen or anything like that. No seminal fluid. So, nothing like that is on here, basically, other than, like I said, the saliva that's on her neck area. And that's it. And so, he tries to, him and his lawyer, they're basically saying like, there's nothing here. There's nothing here to say that my client did anything. There's no rape here. There's nothing. So this case needs to be dismissed. And so then, the case ends up going to a jury, and the jury comes back with the conviction. They come back saying, yeah, you raped this girl. And it's stunning, and it's just amazing, and it's crazy because they don't have any evidence on this guy. It's just nothing. They got nothing. So how can you convict the guy when you don't really have any evidence? You got to have, to convict someone, you got to have, above and beyond evidence to put somebody in jail to convict them, because that's a huge thing. I mean, it's crazy. So they basically convicted the guy of rape, and his I'm looking here on this article, and his the time that he's looking at is like a 12-year sentence, and which is crazy, and it makes no sense because I mean we've had similar cases here where let me look at this guy. Yeah, the Brock Turner guy. I think that was out in California, and that guy, they got him red-handed raping a girl, and he ended up getting 6 months for rape. They saw this guy rape this girl, and he only got 6 months. The judge gave him this crazy lenient sentence, and he only got 6 months. And they end up reducing it. You know how it is when you get, sentenced to something, and you go and they say it's 6 months, and you do for good behavior, they might let you out early. So he ended up actually only doing like 3 months of that 6 month sentence, and that was that, like I said, that Brock Turner guy. He was convicted of rape, but he only did 6 months, and they caught him doing it. And this guy, Albert Wilson, they have hardly no evidence on the guy. They have no evidence on the, other than the he say, she say stuff. And if you go to the DNA, there's no DNA evidence saying that he did none of this stuff. And this guy's getting 12-year sentence. It's insane. It's crazy. It makes no sense. And it's wild. Like I said, they even got surveillance. As I said before, they got surveillance footage of them going to his apartment, and like 5 minutes later, they come back out. They're walking back to the bar. So how are you convicting this man of rape when you don't have any evidence? A lot of people are talking about, it's an all-white jury, and the Albert Wilson, he's a black guy, and race always plays a factor in these kind of cases. You can never throw that kind of stuff out. It's always something that's kind of luring and kind of lingering around when you have a case like this. And it's out in Kansas. They don't have a huge black population, and like I said, your jury is all white, and you got this young black guy and this white girl that says she raped him, and so it's crazy, it's unbelievable, and what we got to do, we got to get this story out. If you listen to my story and whatnot, and I'm gonna put some links in the story because I got a lot of my information from Vibe magazine. They did they covered the story. And I also, when I first heard this story, it was from, I got to give him credit, it was from Dr. Boyce Watkins. I looked on his YouTube channel, and that's when I first saw the story. And so I went to go do some research on my own, and that's when I saw all the details of the case, and I was like, wow, I got to do something on this as well. Like, I got to talk about this. So yeah, I mean, we got to get this story out. And so if you could please share this story, and there's a petition, I'm going to actually put that as well in the, in the link of the channel. I mean, for this particular story, I'm going to put the links for the petition as well. And if you could also go on Twitter and look at the hashtag, it's free Albert Wilson, hashtag free Albert Wilson. And if you could spread that around and, share the story with whoever you can, so we can get some eyes and ears on this story, because we can't let this go. I mean, we can't let an innocent guy like this go to jail for something that looks like they don't even have evidence that he did, and they're trying to put him away for this. And they're also gonna try to, when you get tried for a charge like this, they also, they hit you with the where you got to register as a sex offender, and that follows you forever. So I mean, even if he end up going to jail and he gets out, he still has to register as a sex offender wherever he goes, whatever state he goes to. So you don't want something like that, following you. Even if you do your time, why would he do time for something that he didn't do? So this is just, like I said, we can't let this happen. So we got to get this story out. Please share this story with all your friends. Share the story. And also subscribe back to me, because I'm gonna be doing a lot. I'm gonna be checking out this story more and getting updates as I can. And I'm gonna be doing more posts on it. So please, if you can, subscribe to my channel, and also like the channel. Like the video, and share the video as well, because we got to get some eyes and ears on this story. We got to make this thing go viral, because we can't let this go by. Now, I've been sharing the story, and you know, on Twitter and whatnot and other social media, just trying to get it out to all the major news outlets as well, because this is a story that needs to be heard, because you don't want to see an innocent guy like this, a young guy. I think at the time he was 20, and right now he's 23. So, I mean, still a young guy, still a lot of life. You know, he still got a lot of life left, a long, nice, you know, a life left for this guy. So, got a long way to go, man. He doesn't need to be dealing with something like this, because this is a huge thing, and I couldn't imagine sitting in jail, you know, for something I didn't do, especially being a young guy like that, man. I mean, it's gotta be terrifying and scary, and you know, anything we can do. I don't want anybody to be going to jail for something they didn't do, or sit in jail for something they didn't do, because that's a horrible place to be, and nobody wants to be there. So once again, thanks for checking out the video, and until next time, I'm out.